Hello friends, it's me, and today let's watch what makes Pedro Pascal so hot. Style theory from the style theorists. Together, let's go. Let's start. Thank you.
What's the deal with Pedro Pascal? I mean, between the movies, the memes, and the fan cams, people are obsessed. So what makes Pedro Pascal so magnetic? And why are some people getting so mad about it? Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that's really been stretching that definition of lifestyle recently.
Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory. Welcome.
And speaking of stretchy things,
Hello.
there's been a lot of hot takes lately around the current Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal. Get it? Because he stretches. So what exactly is making so many people go flame on for the internet's favorite zaddy? On the surface, it seems like people are
Flame on. Another Fantastic Four reference.
divided on a few different things, like why is Pedro Pascal considered a universal heartthrob?
Do you think you're a heartthrob?
I don't.
He's lying.
Yes, I'm a heartthrob.
2 is, does being considered a heartthrob mean he's allowed to touch his co-stars? And 3 is, why is he in everything?
We are coming off the hottest year ever recorded on Earth. The hottest year ever. Scientists warned it would happen if we put Pedro Pascal in this many movies.
Let's take a look at that lineup, shall we? Fantastic Four, The Last of Us, Materialist, Eddington, actually goes on for quite a while. Do we have time to list through all? No, we do not. I joke, but this is a big issue that may go deeper than just the memes. And believe me, there are a lot of memes.
Herald his beginning.
Now, we've talked at length, pun intended, about both Pedro Pascal and what makes people attractive. So why not combine the two to finally put out the flames on the internet's hottest question? What exactly makes Pedro Pascal so attractive? I mean, the things we do for our jobs, am I right? The first thing people tend to notice when they meet someone new is their face. So let's start there on our journey to quantify what it means to be hot. And reminder, while we do take every video that we make very seriously, this is all being done in good fun. Your face is one of your most defining features, and it says a lot about how other people perceive you. We can break down this whole face area into 2 main categories. The face itself, which includes your eyes.
So case in point, the disclaimer is very important because a lot of times people have dysmorphia disorder, I think, I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrongly or something, in which they feel that there's something missing on their face and they go for surgeries here and there. And a lot of times it can be overwhelming, costly, and they do extra. Look, I'm not trying to say that doing surgery on your face is bad, but doing too much is necessary plastic surgery blindness, in which after you have 1, 2, 3, you start to notice more flaws on your face. Then you go for the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, to the point in which you overdo your face. And that's...
eyes, nose, smile, and general structure, and the landscape, aka your hair and facial hair. Before you ask, yes, hair is the landscape of the face, and no, I will not be taking questions.
Way back when we launched this channel, we did a video all about whether or not your face
Don't say that! I don't have any hair! I'm just kidding, I'm gonna grow it back. Okay, I cut it yesterday, which is 30th of September. Okay, is it? Yeah. I cut it on the 30th of September 2025 and I want to grow it out for, I don't know, 4 months I guess. And then on the 1st of February I guess, I'm gonna cut it. Because I have to prepare for Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, you know, meeting with my family and friends, distant family members, you know, smart. So this is gonna grow for the next 4 days. It's probably gonna grow until my half the ear or entire ear. We'll see.
facial symmetry could make you more attractive. It involved this huge survey and trust that you all wouldn't roast our faces too badly.
I'll admit, I was a little scared of it.
Anyway, in that video, based on the huge amount of data that you all provided us, we were able to determine that, yes, on average, a symmetrical face is more likely to be found attractive than a non-symmetrical face.
And so by that logic, it means that Pedro Pascal should probably be the most symmetrical hottie to have ever hopped this earth. right?
The golden ratio, sometimes called the divine proportion,
Okay, Diva.
is a mathematical way to find your facial symmetry. It's considered to be the best test out there to determine attractiveness, at least on a surface level.
Though it does have some very unfortunate bias, as we discussed in that episode. So if you're looking for a deeper conversation, go check that out after you finish this video.
Here's the TLDR version. This test determines if your face proportions fall into what Western culture defines as, quote, attractive. So we ran a photo of a front-facing view of Pedro's face through multiple online tests.
I like it that Amy mentions that different cultures, she sort of subtly hints that different cultures have different understanding of what attractiveness is. Some cultures, it is manly. Some cultures means youth. Some culture means some other things like mustache or beard or facial hair.
As well as calculated it ourselves by measuring this picture pixel by pixel, just to see if the golden boy passed the golden ratio test.
Looking at the data, Pedro's roughly at a 1.7, which is a little above the golden ratio of 1.618, though not by much. This means he has a long face and that his features are more spaced out.
However, that doesn't mean that he failed. Averaging the scores across all of our tests, Pedro has a final score of 90% symmetry. By US academic standards, Pedro gets an A- in attractiveness.
Which his reps would like me to clarify is still a passing grade.
His eyeline is level and the spacing between them sits perfectly in that golden ratio. While his face is considered wide and long, it's only off by a small margin. And according to one of our tests, his mouth, quote, shines at 99%. I mean, hey, people do love his smile. His worst scores overall, which were still not bad scores, came from his slightly off-centered jawline and his nose.
So while he may be a 7.9 out of 10 asymmetrical diva to some, he does get a passing grade in our books. Which means when it comes to his overall unbiased attractiveness, he does fall within that golden ratio. And so that becomes a piece of evidence in our what makes Pedro Pascal so attractive puzzle. Let's move on to his hair.
Not a wig. My hair. My hair.
Now, surprisingly,
My
there's
hair,
not a lot
my
of research
hair.
out there specifically on men's hair as it links to their attractiveness. Though, if we look more broadly, there is some research as to what hair signifies when trying to attract a potential partner.
Whether you put a lot of time into your hair or as little time as possible, your hair is a billboard to the people around you. And it's spilling all of your secrets.
That's why her hair is so big. It's full of secrets.
Hair serves two functions. It can show off your style and your health. Sort of.
Your choice of hairstyle says a lot about you. Do you keep it short or long? Do you style it or leave it natural? Is it clean or dirty? All of this sends subconscious signals to a potential partner about you and your personality.
Good or bad, depending on the other person's preference. Some people want someone who looks low effort, while other people love a high maintenance king. It's just like some people love when their partner has long hair versus some who like no hair at all. Speaking of,
Then there's the health.
Thank you, I guess. Thank you.
Hair is made
Thank
up
you.
of keratin, a protein that your body makes to keep your nails and hair healthy, as well as support your skin when it needs to heal a wound or do any kind of maintenance. Having thick, full hair is generally considered a sign of good health. Historically, for humans, this indicated a potential healthy and fertile partner.
though to be clear, modern science has proven that being bald isn't a universal sign of bad health. So thank you, science, for teaching us that old assumptions can be wrong. Pedro has what this Reddit user describes as full thick hair you want to sink your fingers into. Oh boy. And he's sported a number of styles over the years, both casual and highly styled. Listen, there are a lot of posts dedicated to how much people like his hair, so it's clear to say that this does play a role in how attractive he comes across.
Though his beard is what the bros call patchy, meaning he doesn't have even growth throughout the full beard. For men, a beard can be a rite of passage in their life, and an inability to grow a full beard can be seen as not being, quote, man enough.
This is one of the reasons that the beard grooming industry is so huge, and only seems to be getting bigger.
In 2024, it was valued at $30.75 billion USD, and it's expected to grow to a whopping $54.8 billion by 2032.
How
And that's one of the reasons why I shave my mustache and beard is because as an Asian, I let it grow during COVID period, and I noticed that it's 1, 2, and 3. it's patchy over here, and sometimes over here it's patchy here and there. And 1, 2, it doesn't grow on the sides for me, and it doesn't make one full round. Like yeah. So me with a mustache looks, how to say, untidy in my opinion. Thus shave it.
However, Pedro doesn't seem to care about his so-called patchy beard. In fact, he wears it proudly on.
Well, to be fair, maybe my understanding of untidiness might be incorrect in a couple of years later or a couple of years prior. So
red carpets, in his movies and TV shows, and just generally seems unbothered by it.
Yes, I am far beneath all of these mustaches. You've made your point.
This is a huge measure of attractiveness, not just from potential partners, but for other men with patchy beards looking for confident role models. As my fellow theorist Lee puts it,
So if my beard is trimmed really short, it's actually kind of patchy, especially where my mustache connects. Like, I don't trim it like this, it's just like this. I have to do the trick where if you grow enough beard, it covers up all the patches. In the era of stars like Henry Cavill and Chris Evans who have these big, full, glorious beards that really used to make me feel self-conscious about my own facial hair. But as stars like Keanu, and more importantly Pedro, really blew up, and I saw that they struggled with the completeness of their beards too, that really made me feel a lot better about my own facial hair. Like, hey, we can't...
I remember there's an Indian barber who does it for his clients, in which he uses a string and then he thingy. Then I was like, yeah, it's like, wow, impressive skills.
I'll be Riker, and that's okay. I'm more than happy with my Pedro beard.
So, in terms of his beard, it holds a wider appeal than anything that we've talked about so far. It's not just the Pedrosexuals celebrating his visual appeal, it's the bros themselves. Men need positive role models just as much as anyone else, and Pedro seems to be that by their own admission. But there is something else that may be an even bigger piece of this Pedro puzzle. When it comes to fashion, Pedro is no stranger to switching up his style, and he's been dubbed fashion's favorite zaddy.
Daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, Pedro. Fashion has both an internal and external effect on how attractive you appear to other people. So let's start with the one most people are familiar with, which is the external.
while there is no right way to dress, most people have a scale of what type of outfit is considered flattering and what is not. Typically, it's a mix of what highlights your body shape in a positive way while still expressing your individuality.
Pedro's body type appears to be a trapezoid, which means that he has broad shoulders and a wider chest that taper down into a smaller waist, though not as drastically as an inverted triangle body shape.
This is considered a very versatile shape that can wear many different styles. For Pedro's body type, style guides typically recommend items that define the waist and highlight the shoulders, while still maintaining a balance as to not over-exaggerate either one, which, towards the start of his fashion journey, Pedro wasn't really doing.
To be honest, his early style was just a little well, basic. It wasn't until circa 2023 when Pedro started working with stylist Julie Regolia that the fashion zaddy actually made an appearance. In fact, she is responsible for that shorts and boot combo that inspired our very first video on Pedro Pascal. This was a very experimental time for Pedro's style, but no matter how high fashion or runway ready that the outfit was, Pedro wore it with confidence. Nowadays,
So his personality is there, just need a stylist, and much respect to his stylists. Much respect to you.
having transitioned to his current stylist Jamie Mizrahi, his style is a little less experimental but still just as elevated. And these new looks aren't just flattering, they show off who he is, both inside and out.
And when it comes to internal, it's all about how you feel in what you're wearing. Enclosed cognition is the psychological effect your clothes have on your brain. What you wear can change everything from your posture, your perception of the world around you, your judgment,
And of course, on your
Wait, what is it again?
is the
Enclosed cognition.
psychological effect your clothes have on your brain. What you wear can change everything from your posture, your perception of the world around you, your judgment,
and of course, on your confidence. Because you know what they
So true. Case in point, if I'm wearing like this, I feel very comfy. I wore this so many times for so many years already, half a decade, more than half a decade, in which wearing this makes me instantly get into the mood of content creations or live streaming. It gets me to say the words, "Hello friends, it's me," and today let's watch what makes Pedro Pascal so hot. Style theory. From the style theories. Together, let's go. Thank you so much. Subscribe. I get used to it, but when I wear like a t-shirt, okay, when I wear t-shirts, it makes me feel like comfy. If I wear singlets, it makes me feel sporty. If I wear sleeveless like singlets, it makes me sporty. Let's go for runs. Let's sweat it out. Let's get fit. Let's get healthy. Let's sweat. Let's train and hard work. If I was to wear suit and tie, it makes me formal. Yes, sir. It makes my language feels more. Yeah, it makes me feel, and it also makes other people feel around me as well. And clothes conditions. Thank you. I learned something new.
Say, confidence is sexy. And how you wear something is just as important, if not more important, than what you are actually wearing. You could wear a bathrobe to a red carpet and people would love it if you wear it confidently. People start to think, wow, bathrobes are really fashionable. Maybe I should wear a bathrobe. So when it comes to being objectively attractive, Pedro checks all the boxes, whether the attraction is sexual in nature or not. But that's not the only issue with his attractiveness that anti-Pedro protesters are talking about. They're mad about Pedro being cast in so many different roles, and how he is physically affectionate with co-stars like Vanessa Kirby. They're asking, why is this okay? Is it just because he's hot?
This is the halo effect, which when you boil it down basically means what is beautiful is also good. It's the idea that being beautiful means that despite your actions, your views, your words, you are viewed more positively and able to get away with more things than a quote less attractive person would.
But is that why people, as his naysayers,
Yeah, the halo effect works well, especially for individuals who manipulate that halo effect to bully people. It sucks. It honestly sucks. To spread unwarranted rumors and gossips about that individual with the halo effect. Oh my gosh, so pretty, so gorgeous, so attractive, so beautiful, so pretty, so good looking. That person must be correct. No. If you look at the objective truth, the factual things that is coming out of the words, it's not nice.
say are giving him a pass? Well, that answer lies with our final puzzle piece, because attraction is a little bit more than just on the surface. Attraction and by nature attractiveness aren't just physical things. They're also driven by personality, by shared interests and beliefs, and emotional, or in this case parasocial, connection. You know, the aura, the energy, the vibes. Are they immaculate or are they a dumpster fire on legs?
As explained by this Reddit user, attractiveness in Pedro's case has less than usual to do with his body or face, and much more than usual to do with his personality, values, projected sense of safety, mannerisms, and sense of humor.
Now, it is highly likely that no one participating in this online debate actually knows Pedro personally.
Why is everybody? Who is everybody?
Instead, to gauge Pedro's non-physical attractiveness, we have to rely on how we can perceive his expressions, his actions, his words that appear online. So to find out what people find so appealing about Pedro Pascal, we have to turn to the people who put him on that daddy pedestal in the first place.
The fans.
Starting with personality. Looking across multiple threads, articles, posts,
The K-pop Demon Slayer reference.
videos, there are a few key traits that people highlight as really being so charismatic and charming. One is his humor.
Who makes who laugh more? We've thought about this before. You should see you from my eye.
You! Always break.
Because of you, because you're funny.
He's known for cracking jokes and bringing a fun physicality to both sets and red carpets.
I've watched you from that end to this end with a smile on your face. So this project...
He has humor with everything the whole time, through everything. Even when you're snippy,
Then you have shared interests. Now, this can vary person to person, but there are many fans, both female and otherwise, that have said they felt seen by Pedro expressing his love of things that are typically considered feminine interests. He's well known for his love of dancing.
I would like to be Anita in West Side Story, just so that I could dance more.
Nail art.
Plastic board nails.
They're beautiful. One day I'm gonna break out. I'm gonna start doing it.
Astrology.
Star signs and astrology.
This is the way.
Most likely to be into astrology.
You're an Aries,
I
aren't
am
you?
an Aries.
And of course, Xanadu.
What song would you choose to sum up our time working together?
Xanadu, obviously. You got a new number, texted me the link to the Xanadu song to prove to me that it was you.
Hey, this is a very important point for me because I put Xanadu on my 2025 vision board. Just look. This is something you just don't typically see with modern male stars. And in fact, it harkens back to the old Hollywood stars like Fred Astaire, Cary Grant, and Gene Kelly, who, it just so happens, starred in a little movie called Xanadu. And then you have the
Wow, what a coincidence.
shared beliefs.
Pedro has been very vocally supportive of many marginalized people and communities, including his trans sister, women, the LGBTQIA+ community, and immigrants.
I want people to be safe and to be protected.
The attraction similarity effect is a theory,
A social psychology theory.
that
But hey, that's just a theory. A social psychological theory. Thanks for watching. Thank you. I'm joking. Sorry. Social psychology, not social psychological. My bad.
when people share more similar attitudes and values, they are more
Yes.
likely to form close relationships, even parasocial ones, like that between a celebrity and their fans.
And while not necessarily true for all of Pedro's admirers, his actions and beliefs are often mentioned in their lists of his attractive qualities. He's been described as a great example of positive masculinity, and not just by women and non-binary folks, but by men themselves.
It's rare for men to be this relaxed with masculinity. Strength isn't measured in how tough you come across, but how loving you can be in the face of negativity. Pedro embraces compassion and authentic expression.
This plays heavily into that emotional and parasocial connection that I mentioned earlier.
Emotions contribute to 90% of the decisions that we make, including choosing a partner.
And case and points, people can manipulate that to their benefit, for the good and the bad. So marketing targets emotions more than anything else. So case in point, going shopping with your females, friends, family members, they can be very affectionate and very emotional when purchasing things. Like, why do you spend $50 to buy a drink and I can get the same thing for $2? Because they are.
In this case, your celebrity boyfriend.
What is it about him that has all of us like he's all of our boyfriend?
And it plays into one of the biggest reasons that people don't just put their admiration into Pedro, but their trust. Feeling safe with someone is one of the most, if not the most, attractive traits that someone can have. But I do need to reiterate that we do not know him personally. So when it comes to answering whether or not he is using a hot pass, we can't really answer it. Instead, we have to turn to the people who actually know him and pay attention to what they are saying, both with their body language and with their words.
He's just kind, he looks you in the eye, he's very funny, he's very handsome.
He's so unbelievably kind. You just instantly feel like he's your friend. That's just so needed, having someone that is so pure and stands up for the right things and is just a good human.
Pedro's a king. He's such a warm energy.
There's something so gentle about him, and you feel so loved when you're with him. Like, you just feel so safe. And he's a little naughty, which is fantastic.
I'll take your word for it. So, what really makes Pedro Pascal so attractive?
It's the balance of the physical traits that hit that golden ratio, the fashion that feels both relatable yet elevated at the same time, and the emotional intelligence that he brings to the table.
And that is the reason that he's been cast in so many projects. objects.
Yes, there is the hot guy element to all of this, but it's his natural charisma and vulnerability that draws casting directors to give him these hard-to-reach characters. Ones that have no face, that do horrible things, and that historically are unlikable. Not only can he be an action hero stand-in for men, but he has a softness that makes him a safe space for femme-presenting people to also join in on the adventure and enjoy the character. It gives him a depth that makes him universal to identify with.
Listen, attraction is a deeply personal thing, and how much one aspect of what we talked about today weighs in on what you find personally attractive is something that only you can answer. For today though, the answer to is Pedro Pascal actually attractive is pretty clear. As a wise woman once said, that's hot.
But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Coming up next on Style Theory.
What is the Gen Z stare?
Alright, so from my personal opinions, I think cool. Okay, but it doesn't work for the majority of human beings. Especially in front of so many cameras. If a female co-worker, or in this case actress, was to be so huggy everything, right? Just stand there and let her do it. You shouldn't be the one that is engaging in it, because you know, in the current day and age, females, there's a very strong double standard, right? Female can do the things to the males do the same things to the females. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a bit here and there from this video from the style theorists. And yeah, but hey, that's just theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Thank you. Subscribe. Okay, bye bye. Subscribe. Thank you.